Ancient DNA unlocks 11,000 years of sheep and human history. Ancient DNA analysis reveals that sheep were domesticated over 11,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent. By 8,000 years ago, early farmers were selectively breeding them. Sheep have been intertwined with human livelihoods for over 11,000 years. Beyond providing meat, their domestication allowed humans to benefit from their protein-rich milk and to create warm, water-resistant fabrics from their wool. Now an international and interdisciplinary team of researchers led by geneticists from Trinity College Dublin and zooarchaeologists from LMU Munich and the Bavarian State Collections of Natural History, SNSB, has traced the prehistoric cultural trajectory of this species by analyzing 118 genomes recovered from archaeological bones spanning 12 millennia and regions from Mongolia to Ireland. They have uncovered key insights into the history of sheep domestication. The earliest sheep herding village in the sample, Shcimmel in central Turkey, has genomes that seem ancestral to later populations in a wider region, confirming an origin in captures of wild mutton and mouflon over 11,000 years ago in the western part of the northern Fertile Crescent. By 8,000 years ago, the earliest European sheep populations, the team found evidence that farmers were deliberately selecting their flocks, in particular for the genes coding for coat color, and along with a similar signal in goats. This is the earliest evidence for human molding of another animal biology and shows that earlier herders, like today's farmers, were interested in the beautiful and unusual in their animals. Specifically, the main gene the team found evidence of selection near was one known as KIT, K-I-T, which is associated with white coat color in a range of livestock. And also, by that time, the earliest domestic sheep genomes from Europe and further east in Iran and Central Asia had diverged from each other. However, this separation did not last as people translocated sheep from eastern populations to the west. First, in parallel with human culture influences spreading out from the early cities of Mesopotamia, we see sheep genomes moving west within the Fertile Crescent around 7,000 years ago. And second, the rise of pastoralists as shepherds. Pastoralist people in the European steppes and their westward spread some 5,000 years ago profoundly transformed ancestral European human populations and their culture. This process changed the makeup of human populations, for example, altering the ancestry of British peoples by around 90% and introduced the Indo-European language ancestor of the tongues spoken across the continent today. From the data set used in the study, it now seems that this massive migration was fueled by sheep herding and exploitation of lifetime products, including milk and probably cheese, as it's around the same time that sheep ancestries are also changed. Consequently, by the Bronze Age, herds had about half their ancestry from a source in the Eurasian steppe. Dr. Kevin Daly, at Astra Assistant Professor and at Trinity College School of Genetics and Microbiology, is the first author on the research article and has been published in leading international journal Sciences. And he says, one of the most striking discoveries was a major prehistoric sheep migration from Eurasian steppes into Europe during the Bronze Age. This parallels what we know about human migrations during the same period, suggesting that when people moved, they brought their animals with them. And Dan Bradley, leader of the Research of Professional Population Genetics, Trinity School, says this research demonstrates how the relationship between humans and sheep has evolved over millennia, from the early days of domestication through to development of wool. As a crucial textile resource, sheep have played a vital role in human cultural and economic development. And Joris Peters, co-correspondent author, professor of paleoanatomy, says that our study, while convincingly reconciling morphological and genomic evidence of the geographic origin of domestic sheep, clearly illustrates that further transdisciplinary research is needed to clarify the patterns of dispersal and selection of the many land races occurring today in Eurasia and Africa. And this is from SciTech Daily by Trinity College Dublin. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.